And joining me here in Lviv, UNICEF spokesman James Elder. It's good to get you back, James, because I want to get an update. What is the current situation when it comes to children in this war?
Utterly dire. Dozens now killed. Almost a million. We're on the cusp of 1 million children being refugees. That's unprecedented since World War II by a distance. And as we speak, many thousands in bunkers, petrified.
Now, we've talked a lot about those fleeing. What about those who can't get out, the internally displaced? What do we know about their conditions? Because they're still under fire.
Yeah, exactly. Whether it's that anecdote of the mother who explained to me she would lie over her child in a basement because she was just thinking it was an extra layer of support, whether it's those people who we think can leave, and as we saw gunned down yesterday, or the children whose families are taking water from oil heaters because they have not had access to water because critical infrastructure is being hit. It's life for a child in a war zone. It's harrowing.
I know you've been talking to paediatricians who are trying to help as well. What is the situation with them and what are they doing?
Yeah, they're extraordinary in what they do, but here in Lviv, they had around 60 children come from hospitals in Kyiv, who Kyiv can no longer treat, of course, from basements. So they're doing emergency surgery. They're doing training as well, very, very stark training in terms of prioritising if they get an influx of children. So, Michael, a green sticker means okay, a yellow means let's get some attention for this child. Red is we need critical attention on this child. If they put a black sticker on the child, it means they're not going to make it.
It's just heartbreaking. What about supplies? I mean, medical supplies. I mean, we know there's a need for food and things like that in some areas, but medical supplies obviously critical now because of the injured.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. I mean, UNICEF, we've brought in tons. We're supporting this hospital here and hospitals now across the country, which are working in bunkers and basements. But got to be honest, it's triage right now. You know, the surest way to protect kids is to stop the bombing, for a cessation of hostilities. Now, UNICEF and other agencies are going to keep pouring supplies in as we can, but it's also very difficult while the ceasefires keep being broken by Russian forces to protect children and protect humanitarian workers.
We did a story here the other day on a foster facility here where kids have been brought in from other parts of the country which are being shelled and being cared for here. I mean, we're talking hundreds of kids in that situation. The person running the place said to us that, you know, here in Lviv, we get air raid sirens, but nothing's hit the place so far. But with these kids, when they hear the siren, they freak out. They are traumatised. She said they are scarred by what they've seen. What sort of stories are you hearing that stood out to you?
Every moment, every day, I guess. Two of yesterday, if you will. One, a centre where people are looking after autistic children, and the same thing, mothers who've travelled 10 hours with children and they had great setups. They talked so much about the setups they had for these children, and mothers now who can't go to bunkers because the children can't be in a closed space, and the sound of bombing just has them screaming for hours. Yesterday, Michael, at the train station, talking to a lovely young woman, and she was saying, no, we're going to get through this, we'll get through this, and she stopped, said, but I'm pregnant. She said, I fell in love a few years ago. I got married a year ago. I found out a day before the war started. And, you know, and she then went gun barrel straight, which is better for your audience. She said, I want to talk to the world. She said, I'm pregnant. I want my child to know its father. Stop this war.
Oh, my God, that is just heartbreaking to hear. You've outlined eloquently how bad it is. How much worse could it get?
Much worse. Think what happened in Syria, what we saw there. If we're at 1 million children, very close, on the cusp today, tomorrow, in under 2 weeks, we will see many more children killed. We will see maybe millions flee, and a trauma of a nation that you've seen it, these people with such spirit and verve and energy, and embracing of a free world, and they're at risk of a nation being traumatised and children being scarred for years to come.
And you just think, you know, a month ago people were living normal lives and going about their business, and now look what's happening to this country. James Elder, it's always good to get your thoughts. I mean, the kids, so important. Come back again soon, we'll talk.
Thank you.
All right, James Elder there with UNICEF.